尧曰 Chapter 20 1. 尧曰兹耳顺，天之利属在耳宫，允执其中，四海困穷，天路永中，顺义以命语。曰与小子吕敢用玄母，敢昭告于皇后帝，有罪不敢赦。帝臣不避，简在帝心。朕公有罪，无以万方；万方有罪，罪在朕公。周有大赖，善人师父，虽有周亲，不如人人。百姓有过，在于一人。谨权量，审法度，修废官，四方之正行焉。兴灭国，济绝世，举义民，天下之民归心焉。所重民食丧，既宽则得众，信则民任焉，敏则有功，功则说。The ancient emperor Yao, when in his old age he abdicated the throne in favor of his successor, Shun, thus gave him charge. Hail to thee, O Shun! The God-ordained order of succession now rests upon thy person. Hold fast with thy heart and soul to the true middle course of right. If there shall be distress in what among the people within the empire, the title and honor which God has given to thee will be taken away from thee forever. Afterwards the Emperor Shun, when he abdicated in favor of his successor, the great Yu, used the same language in giving him charge. The Emperor Tang, when he ascended the imperial throne, thus offered up his prayer to God. I, Li, who am one of thy children, do here take upon me to offer up to thee in sacrifice this black heifer, and to announce to thee, O supreme and sovereign God, that sinners I shall not dare to pardon. And, in the choice of thy servants, I pray thee, O God, that thou wilt let me know thy will and pleasure. If I do sin against thee, let not the people suffer for my sin. But if the people shall sin against thee, let me alone bear the penalty of their iniquities. With the inauguration of the Chu dynasty, the country was greatly prosperous, but only the good were rich. The emperors guided themselves by the principle contained in these words. Although there are men attached and related to our person, yet we do not consider them equal in value to men of moral character. If the people fail in their conduct, it is we alone who are to blame. The emperors set themselves to adjust and enforce uniformity in the land of ways and measures, to organize the administration and laws, to re-establish disused offices. In this way the administration throughout the empire was well carried out. They restored extinct families of nobles, called to office retired men of virtue and learning. Thus the people throughout the empire gladly acknowledged their authority. What they paid serious attention to were food for the people, rituals and mourning for the dead, and religious services. By considerateness, they won the heart of the people. By good faith, they caused the people to have confidence in them. By diligence in business, what they undertook prospered. By their fair and impartial dealing, the people were contented. 2. 子张问于孔子曰：何如斯可以从政矣？子曰：尊吾美，平四恶，斯可以从政矣。子张曰：何谓吾美？子曰：君子惠而不费，劳而不怨，欲而不贪，泰而不骄，威而不猛。子张曰：何谓惠而不费？子曰：因民之所利而利之，斯不亦惠而不费乎？则可劳而劳之，又谁怨？欲人而得人，又焉贪？君子无众寡，无小大，无敢慢，斯不亦泰而不骄乎？君子正其衣冠，尊其瞻视，俨然人望而畏之，斯不亦威而不猛乎？子张曰：何谓斯恶？子曰：不教而杀谓之虐，不戒是成谓之暴，慢令之欺谓之贼，由之与人也，出纳之令谓之有司。A disciple of Confucius inquired of him, what should be done in order to conduct the government of a country? Confucius answered, In the conduct of government, there are 5 good principles to be kept in mind and respected, and there are 4 bad principles to be avoided. What are the 5 good principles to be respected? Asked the disciple. Confucius replied, First, to benefit the people without wasting the resources of the country. Secondly, to encourage labor without giving cause for complaint. Thirdly, to desire for the enjoyments of life without being covetous. Fourthly, to be dignified without being supercilious. Fifthly, to inspire all without being severe. But, again asked the disciple, what do you mean by to benefit the people without wasting the resources of the country? It is, replied Confucius, to encourage the people to undertake such profitable labor as will best benefit them, without it being necessary to give them any assistance out of the public revenue. That is what is meant by to benefit the people without wasting the resources of the country. Confucius then went on to say, in the employment of the people in forced labor on works for the public good, if you select those who are most able to bear it, who will have any excuse for complaint? Make it your aim to wish for moral well-being, and you will never be liable to be covetous. A wise and good man, whether dealing with a few people or with many, with great matters or with small, is never presumptuous and never regards anything as beneath his notice or as unworthy of serious and careful attention. That is what is meant by being dignified without being supercilious. And, finally, to inspire or without being severe. A wise and good man has only to watch over every minute detail connected with his daily life, not only of conduct and bearing, but even in minor details of dress, so as to produce an effect upon the public mind, which, without these influences, could only have been produced by fear. Now I understand, said the disciple. But what do you mean by the 4 bad principles of which you have spoken? First, replied Confucius, is cruelty, that is, the undue punishment of crimes committed through ignorance arising out of a neglected education. Secondly, tyranny of that kind which renders people liable to punishment for offenses without first clearly giving public notice. Thirdly, heartlessness, which means to leave orders in abeyance and uncertainty, and suddenly to enforce their performance by punishment. And lastly, meanness, to treat your subordinates as if bartering with them exactly and meanly. That is called behaving like professional men and not like gentlemen. 3. 子曰：不知命，无以为君子也；不知礼，无以立也；不知言，无以知人也。Confucius remarked, without religion a man can be a good and wise man. Without knowledge of the arts and of the principles of art, a man cannot form his judgment. Without the knowledge of the use of language, a man cannot judge of and know the character of man. Summary. This last chapter sums up the teaching of Confucius. The first section shows the grand and high principle of responsibility in the rules towards God as the foundation of government, and whilst also the important function necessary for the carrying out of government. The second gives what principles a ruler must constantly guide himself by and what principles he must avoid. The last section sums up the 3 things necessary for the education and formation of the character of a gentleman. 3 things, namely, religion, a knowledge of the arts, and literature.